Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon from the DCUO community. So I finished a bunch of stuff early today, and I thought I'd hit one of the feats that I've been ignoring. And that is the Gathering feat. I've pretty much been ignoring this since they came out with the out of relevancy clusters, and then they went on to having the bites and the capsules. So I haven't actually farmed this in a long time, and I'm only halfway there. I kind of wish they would make this one like account wide, because often in the past I would just log out of my league characters, like just to go on alts and farm it quietly. I mean, if you added up all my alts, I definitely have 10,000, like probably well over that, or whatever the max is. I'm probably pretty close to it. So anyway, I thought I'd just shoot this video because farming is pretty mindless. And one of the topics I've been thinking about lately, and I also saw this in a couple of Var's videos where he talks about revenue from streams and YouTube videos. And it's just amazing how some people actually make a living just doing video game videos. So I kind of looked through channels that I'm subscribed to just kind of compare and get a perspective and give an idea of how realistic something like that actually is. So my channel is just for fun, like it's unpromoted. Every subscriber I gain is probably through somebody I know. It's like through the league, possibly the forums and Twitter, and sometimes it's through like the DCUO page, because every time I upload a video and label as DCUO, it automatically puts that icon there, and it appears on the DCUO page for some time. So it's pretty organic, like I'm doing nothing to force it. And at the beginning of the year, I just decided to turn on the monetization just to see like what I would get out of it. And like on some months, like it does pay for the DCUO sub, and others it'll fall like just behind. So I'd say on average it does pretty much pay the legendary membership, but that's about it. And as you know, that's just a small part of the game, because we spend way more than the membership. But I would say like the majority of YouTubers who are doing gaming videos, we do this at like a loss for a very long time. Because if you're editing videos, that's a professional technical service. It probably makes $50 to $100 per hour if you're doing that like in an office or doing it for a company. So like if you think about that, I'm only gaining $10 a month out of this, and the work that's going into it, it is a huge loss, but it's just a hobby and something for fun. But for its value, it's not a total loss if you look at things other than money. Because like as you do these videos, it does help with like presentation skills if you need that in the office. And also just instructional videos are kind of useful in a lot of office environments. But if you're looking at time spent and money earned, it's extremely low. And it's low for a long time. So if we look at some of the other channels that I'm subscribed to, I'm going to work my way up, and I'm going to kind of compare them to my own. Like I'll mention like how many times larger they are, and I'll link to all of these in the description below once this video is done. So if we go a bit larger, one of the channels I follow is Dork Ninja Gaming, and they have a DCUO base also, but they play a lot of other games, and they also stream. And at this point in time, their channel is 6.5 times larger than mine. So if mine just makes a bit of money that might pay for one subscription, they probably make make enough to sub to several games, or possibly other software memberships that go on a monthly model. And these are just rough amounts. I'm basically comparing the size by the number of subs, but the money doesn't move up at a regular pace. It actually moves up at a larger pace, because as you get more subs, the chance of a video going viral is obviously much higher. And it also, you have to take into account like video length and where they're placing the ads. Because by default it'll put one in the beginning, but if you're taking the time to look at breakpoints in your video and inserting ads like for longer videos, they will bring in more money. So I'm just going roughly only by subs, but every step higher that I talk about will actually be higher than my estimate. So while their size is 6.5 times larger as far as subs, their revenue should be like higher than 6.5 times. So moving up the list, Trexlight is a pretty popular channel. Most likely, I would say most DCUO players know about it. It's one of the first DCUO channels that I subscribe to. And he also has a DCUO base, but plays a lot of other games. And his channel size is about 30 times larger than mine. So we're talking about over 10,000 subscribers. And while that seems like a really huge number, like if we're talking about YouTube as like a career replacement, that doesn't come close. Like as big as his channel is, what he makes monthly out of that would probably, like it would pay like a lot of bills, but probably nothing significant. And by that I mean like rent, mortgage, that kind of stuff. Like the amount that would pay for it, like it does help a lot, but it's hardly a day job replacement at that level. And then if you move up to Balkan Let's Play, another channel that I've been subscribed to for a long time and well known in the DCUO community. And his channel is about twice the size of Trex's. And he probably has like a really big international following, because like his channel size is is that big, and he's not even on the DCUO forums. So that's pretty amazing.
Get away!
Also a variety of games, and he doesn't limit himself to DCUO, but I think he's probably known most for his DCUO gameplay. But yeah, if you figure that's double Trexlight's channel, you're still, I would still put them at the same bracket where it's kind of helping out with real life stuff, but still hardly a day job replacement. Like those guys will still like go to work in the morning, and the YouTube stuff will help out a little bit, and it's extra spending money. But again, this stresses that it's a lot of work, and you have to have a good original idea, hit the timing right too. I think right now, like if you just started a DCUO channel, it would be hard to make that like your day job, because like the game's been out for years already. And the next channel I want to talk about jumps like much further up. It's something I subscribed to recently. It's a Pokemon Go trainer tips channel by a guy named Nick. It's called Trainer Tips, and he actually started this just before the Pokemon Go launch. So great timing, and he was into the subject before playing the other games, so he already knew this was coming out. So great timing, great idea, and his channel just blew up because it was probably, for many, the first channel they subscribed to once they started playing the game. Now, I only discovered him recently because I wasn't really playing the game until like they added the raids recently, because I was just catching the Pokemon like as I was traveling from place to place, but I wasn't really playing it. But it definitely, they definitely gave it new life when they added raids, because I actually started reading up on like all these hidden stats and stuff, and his channel just had everything. Yeah, but anyway, like, I mean, the game's only been out for a year. It just hit the 1 year anniversary. Actually, their anniversary is one day before the Justice Girls anniversary on the 7th. Pokemon Go is on July 6th. So in just 1 year, this guy got 630,000 subs, over 630,000 subs, and that puts him at 1,718 times larger than mine, larger than my channel. So the amount of money this guy makes is more than my day job, more than many people's day jobs. So a channel of this size, it is like a career. It's career or a career replacement. Like he could actually do this, and if he could even have downtime, and he'd still be profiting. But I mean that is a that's a pretty big jump. And that's just a matter of timing, because he just hit it at the right moment. He got there first. I'm sure there are others close. I'm not sure if he's the largest, but he's the one I came across first when I searched for everything. Oh, there was actually one I left out in the middle, so I jumped up a bit too much. Okay, the other one is Techno Axe, and he's a royalty-free music channel. And there is a video game flavor to it, and I use him for a lot of my videos, the ones that have no voiceover, typically bass videos or parties. and a lot of other people use his music in games. So naturally, his channel grew pretty rapidly. Now he has over 93,000 subs, and that puts him at 256 times the size of mine. And even at that size, that's not a career replacement. It's certainly a big help, because at that size, the revenue per month starts paying for big things, such as like rent, mortgages, down payments, that kind of stuff. So while that helps a lot, having that 93,000, or we can even round it off to 100,000 subs, that's still not a day job replacement. So I don't know. I'd say you'd have to be 3,000 to 1,000,000 maybe. But it also depends on like where you live too. Because obviously this payout is virtual. It's Google, so it's going to pay out the same amount no matter where you live. But if you're living in like a high cost of living area, like I do, and you have the same size channel as someone in a low cost area, I currently live in New York, and I have lived in Georgia before, which is a low cost area, low cost of living, I should say. And if I had like a large channel in both of those areas, like I could get away with a smaller channel if I lived in Georgia than compared to like New York City. So there is that to consider too. And now moving on to like the really large channels. Hang on, something just... Okay, yeah, I'm trying to read off my other computer and went to sleep for a while. Okay, so Pokemon Trainer Tips by Nick. We had that at 630,000 subscribers. And that makes pretty good money for a channel. So now if we move up to popular video game channel by Robo. Now he does like general video game news and pretty much covers everything you could think of. Like he covers all platforms, lots of different types of games. He even has multiple channels, but I'm just looking at his main channel that's titled Robo. And now when this guy started, there were probably a lot of people doing the same thing as him. So he's probably not the only channel of this size. But Robo, along with anyone who started in that time period, it was relatively early for independent like game news channels. So I imagine a lot of those who stuck with it do very well. And he's always conducted himself well and made a lot of contacts in the industry. And his channel size currently is over 1.8 million subs, and that puts him at over 5,000 times my channel. And like this is like larger than the Trainer Tips channel, because it's been around longer too, and it's also general gaming news. So if that guy made good money, Robo is living very well. Probably makes my salary in a couple of months. But yet we can go even larger.
I got the money for
Another channel I follow, and probably many other gamers follow as well, and this channel also crosses over into several industries. I'm talking about Rosanna Pansino. It's mainly a cooking channel, but she has like a sci-fi comic book gaming genre to it, so she grabs all those people as well. And she probably had a large channel like for a long time, but it was just this period where YouTube was promoting like individuals. They launched like this huge campaign. In New York, at least, it was a very huge campaign that was plastered all over the subways. And her channel was one of them. So pretty much everyone in New York saw that. And I'm sure that campaign really made things blow up. But currently, she's at over 8.6 million subs. And I'll just read her views to you as well, because that's just off the charts. She's at 2 billion views. So just looking at the subs, that puts her at over 23,000 times larger than mine. So she makes more in 1 month than I do in 1 year, like in my day job. So she is like celebrity status. So that's just an idea of range and what you actually need to achieve if you want this to be your job. So I know a lot of people subscribe to these channels. They see people having fun making the videos, and you see guys like Ghost Robo actually living off it. But those are the numbers you have to achieve to get that. And if you want to achieve that, it's hard to do on a single game. Because you also don't want your channel to depend on the life of a game. Because like if you figure like, let's say DCUO just happens to die out at some point, how many of these channels would survive? Like if you look at mine, it's like 99% DCUO except for the older videos. I would pretty much be starting from scratch if I wasn't covering DCUO, if the game just disappeared off the map. Other channels like Dork Ninja Gaming, Trexlight, and Balkan, they cover other games, but they have a DCUO base. So like if DCUO disappeared off the map, they would probably take a big hit but eventually recover, like over time. And others that are more general wouldn't even notice. Like Ghost Robo covers so much. He actually does have DCUO videos in his library. But like if any one game disappeared off the map, it wouldn't hurt him a bit. And if you look at Pokemon Trainer Tips, like if that game disappeared off the map, he would probably take a big hit. But since Pokemon exists in other games, he would probably eventually recover as well, but he would take a pretty big hit if that game disappeared. So he has a high dependency, but he also makes a lot, so that if the game ever disappeared, like he would be okay for quite some time. But like if you're aiming for like a career replacement on YouTube, like besides having a good idea, you have to make sure your idea doesn't get like one-shotted, like it's not dependent on one entity.
This is the big one.
And of course, you just have to click with the audience, and that's probably the toughest part because it's almost random. Like it's almost like getting people's gut feelings, getting them to trust you. And of course, you're a complete stranger to begin with. So some people just have a natural personality, and pretty much all the larger channels I mentioned have that. And actually even the smaller channels have that too. They just have something to them that attracts a lot of people. And you do have to get lucky with the viral aspect. Because while my estimates are based only on the subs, again, that's something that could blow up drastically. Because like, if you look at analytics of your individual videos, if you have like any size channel, like you can analyze all you want, but sometimes you'll come across cases that will completely throw you off. Like, why does one video have so many views compared to another, and the subject isn't as good, or maybe the editing isn't as good. So sometimes it just hits one user and one other user, and then they spread it to their friends and it goes viral. So I mean, there's always that. So often it helps to be on other social media as well. That way you can spread your YouTube videos through other channels like Twitter or Facebook. That just increases the chances of it going viral. But there is a lot of luck in it too. And it's like luck on various levels. But the whole point of this being is that it's not easy money. It seems like it's easy to do to begin with, but it's hardly easy money. Like I don't ever expect to get anywhere near those guys. I'm just kind of seeing where it goes, where my channel goes, just for fun. It would be nice for me to increase it a little bit so that it starts paying for like the small monthly things. And I'm just talking about like separate $10 things. I'm not talking about anything that's like $300. Yeah, I definitely don't promote it enough to do that. The most I do is I'll just put most of the videos over Twitter, which gets me a little boost in traffic. And occasionally I'll put something on the DCO forums. That always boosts traffic, but it also attracts like a lot of bad traffic. And I really want like relevant subscribers. Like that's more important to me than having a large amount. But anyway, I guess I'm just thinking out loud about the whole revenue analytics. So anyway, I think I'll just cut it off there. But that's just a bunch of stuff to think about if you're starting a channel, or if you're just wondering about how others make careers out of this. Alright, so until the next video, thanks for watching.